The sales team has been 100% me. I'm reaching my wit's end with it. I don't know what to do at this point. I've tried so many things. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're the only person I trust that can help me solve this problem. What do I do?
It's about putting a system in place, creating a process that allows your business to generate the revenue for you. All of this is about replicating you, because we're not eliminating you. We are baking you into all of the components of the sales journey. It's an entirely different thing to spend more time and more dollars and still make no progress.
Yeah.
Now you feel like you're stupid.
Yo, what's up, Jim?
Good to see you, man.
You
so
too.
glad we're here.
Thanks for coming in to meet with me about this.
For sure.
I have a challenge that's been going on. I've told you a little bit about it, but I want to go deeper on this and hopefully see if you can help me here today. I have been running my agency now since 2007. I had a couple exits throughout the way and rebranding, and now I have Brand Butler, which we've got the AI software on the back end, which is a great lead magnet, but the sales team has been 100% me, and I'm the only person responsible for building any sales. I'm reaching my wit's end with it. I don't know what to do at this point. I've tried so many things. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're the only person I trust that can help me solve this problem. What do I do?
Well, I know you're not alone, and I know it feels like it, but this is a path that most people struggle with, because we've seen in all of our years of generating sales and solutions for people that people figure out how to make sales, but they never cross the threshold of figuring out how their business can generate sales. And until that happens, whether you're at, trying to make 50,000, 500,000, 50 million, it seems we've come across people at that level that experience that all the time.
Dang.
And it's about putting a system in place, creating a process that allows your business to generate the revenue for you.
Okay.
So that, it's not about moving you out of the process completely. It's connecting it to your essence and your strategy, your vision. What we do is we create the entire sales process so that it replicates the founder magic that you bring to it. Right.
Yeah, because I've tried so many different things. I literally did the VSL, right? You do a VSL, you send traffic to the VSL from emails or from ads, and then you get them to book an appointment, and then you have a closer get on the appointment and book and try to close the deal, and then none of them close. And I've tried so many different things over the years with so many different salespeople and different approaches, and I've had a little bit of success, but definitely haven't paid for itself. And I'm still back to square one again, where it's just me, right? I haven't been able to keep anybody long-term in the sales side of my business. Right. So I have this turnover with sales too.
Sales closers, while they can seem like a unicorn and a great solution, and a lot of times people think of them as a quick fix. And the reality is, more often than not, they're going to break your business or leave you in a worse position than when you got them when they leave. And we want to make sure we're focused on designing the business that creates rainmakers instead of hiring closers and hoping that they're going to be the magic solution for you. We are a big proponents of high tech, low tech, no tech, right, solutions. And before you automate anything, you should be able to document it first. So good old piece of paper is where we start.
Got my notebook.
Right. And then low tech becomes spreadsheets and documents. And then high tech becomes CRMs and automation and AI. Right. But we first have to know what solution that the automation is solving.
Beautiful.
Before we worry about that. So here we go. So this is the key process that we're gonna dive into. This is not by any means an extensive solution, but if you have all this in place, you've got the framework for a really good process that somebody else can step into and sell for you. Because of all of our years of growing sales teams and recruiting sales teams, the thing that we recognize is as long as the business entity represents the founder, then they're always going to feel like they're talking to you or experiencing you. That's the magic we want to create. So you need something to sell, someone to serve, right? Something to say, something to solve, somewhere to go, something to stand for. And these are the main building blocks, right? So a quality, compelling offer.
I got that.
A focused avatar, right? A great core story that can be told by your salespeople and by your content, right? A bleeding neck problem, differentiating between a problem. A bleeding neck problem, when's the last time you had a sore neck? You ever wake up with a sore neck? Right? Once you're beyond the age of 25, that stuff happens.
Pretty much constantly,
When did you run to the ER because you had a sore neck?
You
Never.
don't.
But most people are marketing to people who have sore necks. We need to focus on people who have bleeding necks. Because last time I woke up with a bleeding neck, I'm going to the ER.
Yeah.
I need a solution, right? So we want to fine tune into what is the bleeding neck problem that you solve.
Okay.
Right? So that focuses on bottom of funnel solutions instead of just top of funnel.
That's great.
And then you need a really good curated prospect journey. This is where a big differentiator. And the prospect journey begins at hello. It doesn't matter when they come to your event. It means the first time they engage you, whether it's on a YouTube channel, a podcast, or seeing you on a stage. The sales conversation begins at hello. And that journey comes to all the way until they leave your world, not after they buy the first thing.
That's great.
Right? And then something to stand for is a great mission. Right? And so all of these components, when you wrap a high quality salesperson who's a great person first, who is a values match, on brand for you, and you can wrap them with a great offer and give them a clear focused avatar to speak to, a great core story to tell and attract people in, and that they really understand all phases of the bleeding neck problem and the solutions that you offer, and then moving them on a quality curated journey and helping them share it, making sure they understand that this solution is helping the clients deliver their mission and solving yours. All of these put together into a quality system is what now allows the system to replicate you. And salespeople step into that. And when they do, they will consistently and predictably overachieve. For this conversation right now, step one is just going to be, let's just dive into these components a little bit. So we'll have an overview of what's here. And then I take that back to my team and we start mapping out where are the gaps, what are the things we need to do to fulfill them. And then how do we design a process and a journey that connects all of this and leads people from the introduction point to a quality solution that they pay premium for.
That's fantastic. Okay.
All right.
That's great.
So when it comes to the compelling offer, how would you define what that solution is? What makes it compelling?
After dealing with over 5,000 companies and asking over and over again, can I see your marketing plan? Can I see your marketing plan? Can I see your marketing plan? They all said, I don't have one. And a failure to plan is a plan to fail. The reason why I've found the success that I have in both of my businesses that have been successful has been because I had a plan at the start, not halfway through, not at the end, but at the start, before I even started doing anything, I had a very clear action plan of how many people I was going to call per day, what I was going to sell, how many times I needed to sell it, like all the details, what the upsell was. I had everything clearly documented with that. And so I see so many businesses that don't have that. So my solution for that was, well, let's lay that foundation for your business first. Before we go out and start sending you traffic and doing marketing for you and running ads and building you websites, we need to set your foundation so you're building on something that's solid. And then we have a software that we've created where I can walk you through the steps of that. And now it's going to create a documented plan digitally that you can then take and train AI, train your team, right? Train your whole organization on that specific plan. And now everybody's on the same page. There's no ambiguity on it. It's completely clear. So we have a software that does the brand strategy, the marketing plan, and the sales plan to help you come up with your offers. And it's all done in a simple quiz-like format where in an hour you can answer all of those questions. And now you've got an entire roadmap for your branding, marketing, and sales. And we charge $100 for that, for the software.
That's ridiculous. So that's a great start to get them in the door and understanding from the beginning that they need a quality plan.
That's right.
Who is the person that this is going to compel?
Any business owner. I mean, our ideal client is an attorney. They're the ones that stay the longest, pay the most, complain the least. You know, they're the dream clients, right? But we have a lot of other businesses that we serve, home services, functional medicine, anybody that is social impact driven, that isn't just out for making money, but actually wants to make the world a better place. That's the kind of person that we want to work with and support. It's not always about the money and, can they afford us or not? Sometimes we'll meet them where they're at and just provide a solution that they can't afford.
That's good. So diving into that, and of course, the attorney is the sweet spot. That's the bullseye.
That's right.
But because they're the one that has all of those moving parts that help them be really compelling and wonderful to work for you, there's pieces and components of them that are in every other business.
That's right.
That you're able to serve.
And there's also a much higher barrier to get to those types of people because they're so in demand and because they are the kind of clients that they are. Everybody's going after attorneys, right? So it makes it very competitive to break through, and you really have to, it's really a relationship thing, which makes it hard to scale with ads and organic and YouTube and all that, to build organic relationships with attorneys when they're being hit with 100, like I have an attorney tell me he gets 100 emails a day from marketing companies wanting to do that. I'm competing with 100 other companies, right? Yeah. So it's so relationship driven.
Somehow I'm on that list too.
Exactly.
All right. So the glue between this, each one of these builds on each other. The great core story is what helps dial the avatar into the compelling offer and the need. When you tell a great core story, then we're highlighting for people what is in this for them.
That's right.
And why they want to buy into it.
Their core story is they've been trying to scale their business through marketing to get more customers. And they've tried different agencies, different programs, different strategies, different platforms, different advertising spends. Like they've tried everything and none of it's worked. And at least they've maybe gotten some decent results, but they didn't last. Those results didn't last. And I always explain to them that's because the tactics is what they were focused on versus the strategies, and the tactics change faster than we change our underwear. Right? ChatGPT's the thing today, and tomorrow it'll be Claude, and then the next day it'll be Google Live, and the next day it just Perplexity. It changes so fast. There's no way. So of course, one strategy or one tactic today may not work tomorrow. And so they build their business off of strategies or off of tactics versus strategies. And so my goal is to build the strategy for them first, so that regardless whatever tactic changes, whatever new technology, whiz bang or gadget comes out, they're able to pivot and work within that because their fundamentals don't change.
Got it. So if we were to refine that, which is going to be key in all of this, it feels like the person who is ideal of this, the story we're telling for them, is that they are trying everything that they can get their hands on instead of everything that's necessary to execute on a successful plan.
That's right.
Right. So they're out chasing the next thing.
Throwing it at the wall.
And they're going lateral instead of climbing.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
And then, of course, that causes, when they're doing that consistently, it opens up some wounds.
Yeah.
So a lot of things where they're hurt and broken, but some places where they're bleeding severely.
That's true.
And where is that?
Well, congratulations. You've spent $500,000 in the last year trying every kind of marketing tactic, strategy, agency, program on the planet. You did all the courses, you did all the things, and you're still here back at zero.
Yes.
Very, very lateral. Like that's a huge, huge pain. You just lost yourself $500,000, not including what we've talked about in the past, the opportunity of what they would have been doing if they had making money. It's not the $500,000 lost, but it's the $10 million that they could have made.
Right. Amen. So, and that's what wraps the core story into this, right?
Okay.
Because there's a cost to this. There's something that is, all of this activity
Yeah.
Leads to a crescendo, right? This is a break point. This is, I got to do something different.
That's right.
Because this is not sustainable, right? And then that leads to a bleeding neck problem for them of what? Where is the greatest cost?
I lost all of this time, and I've made no progress, and I've spent all this money and all this time.
So are they spending money, spending time, and they're not making any progress?
We're not making any progress.
So it's one thing to spend a lot of time, spend more than you should.
Yeah.
Another thing to spend more dollars than you have, but it's an entirely different thing to spend more time and more dollars and still make no progress.
Yeah.
Now you feel like you're stupid.
Yeah, it's like banging your head against the wall.
Too smart to feel this dumb.
Yep.
And ineffective. And then they stop marketing altogether.
That's right. Yeah, and then you cut the marketing off completely, and that's not the answer either. That's an overcorrection.
Right.
Yep.
So along the lines with that is, would you say that a part of the bleeding neck problem is that they have a message that is powerful, they have a solution that the world needs, and they can't get it heard and in front of the right people?
Yeah, if I were to use an example, like one of our law firms, these guys are literally like a boutique law firm of people that came from one of the top law firms in the country, like featured on magazines and everything, and these guys all left there and started their own firm together and came together as a trio. And they don't just like put their names on billboards, which they don't do billboards and radio ads and all that, but they actually fight in court, and they prepare every single case as if they're going to court. And the way that they approach it with their skill sets that they have is unlike any attorney. And I've dealt with a lot of attorneys over the years. They're unlike any attorney I've seen because they genuinely care about the relationship. They want to know about your childhood. They want to know about your traumas. They want to know about because all of those childhood traumas and backgrounds and histories all tie back to the case, and they find gold nuggets in there that they can use in the case, like to give them leverage, right? So they're so thorough, just like with what we are. They're kind of like the same level and category of what I am with marketing as they are in the legal field, right? But they're not telling that story to anybody.
Right.
They're just another catchy, got an injury called gingery, right? They just got another catchy catchphrase, right?
Right.
Which is what everybody does. They just come up with a catchy catchphrase and they think that's marketing. It's like marketing is so much more than that.
You can't be clever. You need to be clear.
There it
right?
is.
And which is why a curated prospect journey is so vital. And notice, just like you're talking about tactics, strategies don't change, tactics do.
Yep.
Right. None of these are tactics. These are necessary no matter who you're selling to.
That's true.
What product you're selling, how long you've been selling it, what you're trying to do. All of these tie together, and then we build tactics off of these.
That's great.
Right. This is an experience journey that we create, and inside of that is where you communicate the level of, we call it badassery, the level of badassery that you bring to the marketplace.
Yep.
All of the lives you've changed, the people that you've touched. Right. The things that you've inserted, so that everybody understands from the moment they come into your world that you're different. Right. And you have knowledge, you have wisdom, but you also have an incredible amount of compassion. And that people understand that you make a difference.
Wow.
Right. It's great to know that you can solve any case or that you can build any funnel or sequence. It's more important to know that you're sold out for my winning.
Yeah.
For my success.
That's right.
That's how we build all of this. We come alongside to ensure that you're delivering an experience that's unique and one of a kind. More importantly, says exactly who you are and what you matter. Why does it matter to them? That's the core. That's the concept of a curated prospect journey.
That's beautiful.
That wins. Right. And when you're doing all of that, these are all the pieces. And we dive into where your primary lead sources are. Where do they intersect? Because the one thing we don't want to do is have multiple solutions out there in the marketplace and multiple different messages. So now you've got 5 different marketing funnels that all say something different. And now people don't know who you are.
That's true.
And it's diluted and it's fractured. And so they know you're doing something, but they're not exactly sure if it pertains to them.
Wow.
What we want to do is take all of the different versions of the avatar you serve and the different product solutions so that they tell one story.
Okay.
Right. So even if you're selling to $100,000 buyer, $1 million client, even if you're selling $1,000 product to start with, that $1,000 product should not be targeted at somebody who can't afford 6 figures. It should be targeted at somebody who wants the 6-figure solution, wants the dream outcome, as we call the Mountaintop experience.
Yep.
But they want a $1,000 taste versus somebody who can only afford $1,000. Cool.
Yeah.
That's a different person altogether.
That's true.
Because when we start messaging the person who can only afford the smaller piece, then you're literally turning away the people who could want something bigger. They just don't know you well enough to invest in that yet.
That's gold.
Okay. So this journey ties into the bleeding neck problem, the core story, the avatar, and the compelling offer. You want to focus on the avatar, who is your Mountaintop experience client, which is something we'll design, a lifetime journey. We call it the Mountaintop experience. Is where are you starting from? What's the plan? What would you say is the plant your flag experience? When they're at the mountaintop in your world, how are their lives and businesses changed?
They never even need to think about their marketing again because they've laid such a clear foundation on their strategies that all the tactics and the deliverables to execute on those tactics are very clear and easy to understand and follow, whether it's internally from their own in-house marketing or somebody that they've hired out, that they know exactly they can anticipate exactly what's going to happen with their marketing because it's not just based on like theories and cool ideas, but it's based on facts and stuff that can be proven and backed up with data. And I would say that they just have that sense of relief and that clarity that they don't have, right? Because a lot of people are struggling with clarity around their brand, clarity around their marketing, clarity around their sales. And that's the big thing that I think we give them that experience is like, now, you got a solid foundation and now you can build something, right? It's like if you hired a contractor and he messed up your whole house and his job was to build everything from the dirt all the way up and you got there and your freaking house, the ground was built on straw or bricks or mud, right? And you didn't have the solid foundation, you'd be like, okay, well, I definitely can't add anything else to this house. I have to tear this whole thing down and start over again. So I think a lot of people are at that, I just want to tear it all down and start over again, but the amount of work that they see that being for them is just like unrealistic. And they just continue on doing what they've always done.
Right. Yeah, I like that. And what's the greater component of that? So if I have data-driven solutions, I'm crystal clear. I never have to stress about my marketing anymore. What's the payoff? What is the when I plant my flag in Adrian Boyzel's world, in the Brand Butler world, Video Marketing Vault world, I plant my flag and I say, this is how my life has changed. This is how my business has changed.
Obviously, peace of mind. I think the other thing is they know that if they want to move their business in a direction where scaling up or scaling down for whatever reason. Maybe they're coming towards retirement and they just want to simplify their operations and they're not as aggressive as they used to be. They can do that. And they have clear metrics to understand, okay, if I put $1 in, I get $4 out. So this month we need to make an extra $40,000. So I need to put an extra 10 grand into my marketing this month. Cool. Put $10,000 in, get $40,000 back. It's a pretty good return on investment for me. So to have that clarity, I think clarity, peace of mind, and the scalability to be able to go any direction that they choose, having the freedom.
Feels like somewhere in there too is a consistent, one-of-a-kind attraction model, regardless of the size of your company. So as it grows, your positioning only gets better.
Your positioning only gets better. That's true.
Because the messaging is well curated and you know the data, you have data-driven results, so you know exactly what's going to grow.
Yeah, you're the authority, right?
I like that. Because then, like in our world, when we're working with clients, our mountaintop experience and our bold promise, as we call it, is a unique, one-of-a-kind business that is designed to generate revenue and ready to sell. Right now, everybody may not get there, and everybody may not want to sell. But the most effective, the most pleasurable, the most profitable business to run is one that's ready to sell. Yeah. So that's our journey with our clients. So when they come into our world, when you're working with us, that's where we're taking you.
Start with the end in mind.
Starting with the end in mind, and that's always selling to the mountaintop. Yeah,
and that's what my business plan that was so successful did. Is that I had the end goal in mind, and I've always done this as a kid. I would. Oh, I like this radio. I want to know how this thing works. Take the whole radio apart and take one piece out and figure out how to. They worked. Now it doesn't work. What turned on what? And so I do the same thing in business. As soon as I can figure out what is the end? What is the goal? Right. Is it an exit? Is it to scale? Is it to go public? Whatever that is. Right. Then I can reverse engineer and work my way backwards. That's one of my favorite things to do is to reverse backwards. Yeah, I think that's a big one for me.
So we'll work with you to design that. What is that? Okay. What goes into that journey? But the things you want to be thinking about is mountaintop experience, right? A message that doesn't move, a message that you're positioning that grows and strengthens as you grow. Yep. And then what are the benchmarks? Like for us, mountaintop experience is a class of one business that is sellable, right? Yep. The benchmark, big milestone in the middle is a viable business, right? So we start with world-class businesses or those who desire to be. We grow them to best-in-class businesses, and then ultimately to a class of one business, right? And that requires, in the beginning stages, profitability. So everything that we do in the beginning is about getting you profitable, meaning making sales regularly, meaning finding the right people, getting qualified opportunities, fixing the lead generation processes, all of that. Yeah. Then as we move to the next stage, we get to viability. You need to be profitable before you can become viable because you have to put revenue into the business to grow it, to make it viable. That's systems, strategies, growing teams, et cetera. And then from that becomes class of one business, which is one that's sellable. Now you got monthly recurring revenue. Yep. You've got quality IP. You've got increased valuation, better offers, continuity offers, more ways to make money and increase the valuation of the company, which are the things that start making you sellable. So for you, we would want to create a similar version of that with benchmarks and the milestones that make sense for your people who are on that journey.
So saying that just gave me complete clarity on the direction that I'm going, because when I look at the mountaintop experience for myself, I think it parlays really well into a lot of my clients that I deal with. Is ultimately I want to have a business that runs without me, right? I want to have a sales process and a sales system and a sales team that runs without me. I am having the weight and the pressure, right? They say that obligation breeds resentment. Right. I'm in the stage of resentment where I love what I do. I love serving my clients, but I didn't sign up for this to be a sales guy. I signed up to help come up with strategic plans, take visions and ideas that people have in their mind and bring them into the real world and make them a reality, right? I'm a creator. I'm a visionary. I didn't want to be in the guy and say, oh, tell me about your and this is my offer. And I didn't sign up to do all that, but I obviously want and need to do that and be able to scale that. So for me, my mountaintop experience with you is have a business that runs without me. And this is the last pillar: sales, marketing, fulfillment, finance, and operations. It's the last pillar that I have that I need to fill that can run without me.
Right. And that happens when all of this is designed well, because now you don't need a magic unicorn closer. Yeah. We create systems that create rainmakers. Okay. right? That's the whole objective. And when this is all in place, you just need a quality person who is on brand, on values match, who can deliver a compelling offer to the ideal people, tell a great core story to enroll people in and pull them in powerfully. Even if they're not a marketing guru, you don't need somebody who's a marketing guru to sell this. You just need somebody who understands all of these components, right? Who really leans into the bleeding neck problem and can speak to it powerfully and hold people accountable to doing something about it. And a great curated prospect journey so that we're consistently moving people to the next benchmark so that we know they're on a curated process instead of just hoping they show up to the next call ready to do something. We're curating the journey that says, here's what you do next. Here's what you do next, right? So instead of saying, like people come to me all the time saying, hey, how do I shorten the sales cycle? How do I speed up the sales cycle? And my mission is not to speed up the sales cycle, it's to strengthen the sales cycle. If somebody's taking 60 days to buy from you, if that's your standard sales cycle, we have a client we're working with that they have a 6-month sales cycle and he's trying to shorten it. And I said, well, what if we just build a 6-month sales journey? So if there's stuff that they're going to do on their own, you keep them in your world doing those things so that when they're ready to make the decision, you've already gave them everything they need to make the decision about, right? You've helped them get the stakeholders. You've helped them put a budget in place. You've helped them do the things so that when they're ready to make that decision, you've already led them right to
you gave them the plan.
Exactly. So what are they going to say? But yes, we're ready when they work with you, right? So it's just designing something that's intuitive and focused on them so that it's strengthened. And guess what ends up happening as a result? It gets faster.
Yeah.
Right. But don't seek to make it faster. Just make it stronger.
Make it better.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then the mission, right? At the end of the day, that's what you're really selling. We're selling a mission that that matters to you because your mission is built around them.
Okay.
And so if you had to, just bullet point that right now, what's the mission? Why are you doing this? And why should the clients care?
I want to see the rate of business failures, right? Small business and entrepreneurship, I believe, is the greatest path to self-improvement. It brings out all the things at the surface that you haven't dealt with, and you either deal with them or you repeat them until you learn otherwise. And I believe that being an entrepreneur and having freedom, which is my number one core value, is really important. And people have such a low chance of success with small businesses because of their lack of planning. And so if I can help 1 million small business owners in the US develop a plan and have a much higher, instead of having a 80% chance of failure in the first 5 years, have a 10% chance of failure in the first 5 years because they have a clear, actionable plan, that for me is a huge win.
Amen. I love that. So that's a mission that clients can get into because they can see themselves in it.
That's right.
Because you're telling their story instead of yours. You're telling yours in a manner that includes them.
That's true.
And lets them know that they get to help fulfill it.
Yep.
And that they want that to happen. And it's something that a team member can say.
Yep. That's true.
Right? So that's the objective. All of this is about replicating you because we're not eliminating you.
Yeah.
We are baking you into all of the components of the sales journey.
Yeah. I mean, because if you have a conversation with a small business owner, you're like, do you know what your chances of success are with your small business? They probably don't even think about it, right? They're like, oh, I just started doing it. I just started helping people like Whitney, right? She with her Crunchy Cottage. She just started making jars of elderberry syrup for her friends and selling them as a side hustle. Next thing you know, she had a full-fledged business. And so I think giving them that plan and like, hey, this is your foundational piece. If we can even cut that in half, can you imagine?
Yeah.
If there's, I think it was, well, last time I saw it was like, there's 200 million businesses and small businesses in the US or 150 million, whatever. And we cut that number in half. Of the ones that fail, and now they're able to last because they have a clear plan. Dude, that's huge.
So this is great. So when we can put together a quality system that produces rainmakers, instead of having to attract top-tier closers and putting them in a position where they can produce consistently, the system will bring in the right clients, and we start putting people into your world and your ecosystem that you automatically change the rates of success for the people in your world. You may not change the rates of success for the world, but the people in your world will change because we'll be attracting the right people, sharing the right message, the right story with them, really addressing their key bleeding neck problems and designing the journey that keeps them in your world for years to come because you continue to solve their problems and they know that you care and you've got it figured out. And that journey stays with you again from the time they show up until the time they leave your world, not until the time they buy a product.
Okay.
And then where mission starts becoming mission accomplished.
Beautiful.
Ready to go. So we can put all that together. And so we'll take this, we'll start working on this, and then we'll come back together and share the next pieces of this and start building these phases out so that you have a quality winning solution.
Beautiful.
And then you're changing the game. You're living into your mission and you're freed from day-to-day grind of having to make all the sales.
That's right.
So if this is making sense to you, if you're seeing yourself in this at all, which I'm guessing if you're still here, you are, then look in the chats first, like and subscribe so that you can be involved in the conversation as it continues to grow, because we're going to be doing more of these videos. We're going to break this journey out over multiple weeks. And we want to make sure you don't miss anything. So we've got the Rainmaker solution, this checklist here, and another resource that goes with it in the chat below. So make sure that you go into the comments, click on that link, and apply this. And then, of course, we'll be here to help you check this out as we move into the next phases. But you want to be involved in this journey with us so that we can make sure that you are creating a system that frees you from the sales process. Thanks for trusting us to be part of your success team. Everything changes from here.